Welcome everyone, this is your own channel Learner Saga. In this video we will discuss the remaining portion of the poem On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel. But before we start, I like to request you to press the like button and please subscribe the channel if you are new, and also to share and comment on the video. So without wasting any time, let's begin. On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel. In our previous video we have discussed about our poet Gieve Patel, that he is a poet who is much associated with the green movement. We have already discussed that this poem is a free verse, that means it doesn't have a particular rhyme scheme, and here the title On Killing a Tree does not suggest that how to kill a tree. It does not convey us the idea to kill a tree. Rather, here the poet wants us that we should take care of trees, or we should plant more trees to make our environment eco-friendly. In our previous video we have discussed up to stanza number 1. On that before discussing paragraph number 1, I mean the stanza number 1, as you know students, that in a poem, in case of poem, there is stanzas. Paragraph is not you cannot say that a poem has paragraph. However, so in our previous video, before discussing stanza number 1, we have already undergone the theme of the poem. So let's recapitulate once again. The poet, in this poem, the poet highlights the fact that trees are living things, and he equates the trees with humans, and he said that a tree does not die by merely cutting. It regrows from where it is cut, and if a tree is to be killed totally, then it has to be uprooted. All these things we have discussed in our previous video. So in this video, let's start from second stanza. So hack and chop. Hack and chop means two different things. You can see here, I have written here, hack means to cut with a blow. Hack means to cut with a blow, and chop means cut into pieces. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. If a person only hacks, that means if a person only cuts with blow and chop, and after cutting that, if the person cuts into pieces, this alone won't do it. This procedure alone, that means hacking and chopping, won't do it, won't do killing of the tree. That means if a person only hacks and chops, the tree will not die. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. So here the poet says that the point of the tree which gets cut gives out saps, just like human being bleeds. Here it is, you can see, not so much pain will do it. Pain means here the labor. This much pain, that means only hacking and chopping, this pain, this labor will not be sufficient to kill the tree. The bleeding bark will heal. Here you can see the bleeding bark. It is an example of alliteration also. Here the sound B, letter B is repeated, and also the bleeding bark. The bark is bleeding, that means there is a metaphor here. The metaphor is, the comparison is with a human being. As a human being bleeds, similarly the tree here is bleeding, but its bleeding is, it bleeds saps. The bleeding bark will heal. It will automatically heal itself, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs. After healing, there will be some small twigs, green colored twigs. They will emerge from the bark, which is very near to the ground. Miniature boughs. Those boughs will be miniature. Miniature means, as we know, that the very same form, or the it is the copy, you may say, as we say the photocopy, it is the same copy, or the miniature boughs, the boughs which are very small, and in future they will be like the big branches, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. And if unchecked, if someone does not pay heed to that, and it remains unnoticed, it will expand once again and regain its former size. No, the root is to be pulled out. So this procedure will not do all the things. If one only hacks and chops, it will not be able to kill the total tree. The root is to be pulled out. The poet here is saying no. That means the previous idea of cutting and chopping, it will not be sufficient. The root is to be pulled out. One has to pull out the total root, the whole root, out of the anchoring earth, as the earth is giving protection to the root like an anchor. The earth is the very source from where the root is attached. It is to be roped, tied and pulled out. That particular root is to be roped at first, roped and tied, and then it is to be pulled out, totally snapped out. Snapped out means move out. As it is in past, you may write moved out. That means the poet is here trying to convey us the idea that only cutting the trees will not make it die. If a tree is to kill, then one has to tie it and pull out the root of the tree, or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave. Pull out entirely means the root has to be pulled out entirely, totally, out from the earth cave. The earth cave means the very underneath of the soil, where the root spreads, where the root moves towards water underneath the soil, and the strength of the tree exposed. What is the strength of the tree? That is the root, from where it gets all the support. It is to be exposed. It is to be made open. The source here is the root, white and wet. White and wet because it is under the soil. It remains under the soil for the whole period, as long as the tree lives. The most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth, and this root is the most sensitive part of the tree. It remains hidden, it remains concealed for many years, as long as the tree lives. The roots live inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking, and if one is able to pull it out, pull the root out, then this matter, this root then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air. Then the root becomes scorched up, dried up. Scorch means dried, you know. So scorching means drying up, and choking in sun and air. Okay, so the poet is here giving us the idea that scorching and choking is the procedure, you may say, the dying of the tree after it is being uprooted in sun, in sunlight and air, the two decaying agents of nature. Browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. And after it is accessible for all the natural agents of decaying, such as sunlight and air, it gets the color brown. It becomes brown in color. It becomes hardened. It becomes more rigid. It becomes twisting. The curly form appears. Withering. It becomes wither. Wither means it decays. It decays, and then it is done, and then the tree dies. So the last stanza says the procedure, the very end procedure of the tree, how the tree dies. So at first the tree is to be uprooted, the root is to be pulled out, then it has to be left open in the open air, where the sunlight and air, the decaying agents of nature, will kill it. How? Gradually. It will become brown in color, it will harden, it will twist, it will wither, and then subsequently the tree will die. So all this is the procedure of killing the tree. But as I have told you, the poet's idea here is not to tell us that how to kill a tree. Actually, he is saying that as in case of human being, it needs a lot of things to kill a human, or as the life of the human is very vital. Similarly, the tree's life is very vital. So the tree takes so many years to grow up as human beings. Human beings also take many years to grow from the little baby to a grown-up man. Similarly, in case of the trees, the tree also takes many years to become a full-grown tree, and it is not possible for a man to kill a tree by a mere jab. So all this is the procedure by which the poet wants us to understand the importance of trees. You can see here, student, that the poem is an example of free verse, as there is no rhyme scheme. There are a few alliteration, you know, where the repetition of the same sound is done, and few metaphors are there. In the last stanza, you can see that I have written here, this is an example of climax. What is climax? Climax, as you can see, the words are arranged in ascending order of importance. At first it gets brown color, then it hardens, then it twists, then it withers. Withers means decays, and then it is done. It is done means it is killed. It has no life then. So all these are arranged in an ascending order of importance. That's why it is called climax. This is a rhetorical figure. Okay, students, probably we have completed the poem well, and if you have any suggestion, anything to know about the poem or the poet, or any question if you have in your mind, please comment on the video. I will try to answer you as soon as possible. Hoping to meet you in our next video with some new topic. Till then, goodbye.